Oh, morning. Excuse me. It's a workshop day for me today, and I'm just going to give you a quick run around. Firstly, I'm making a canopy for a couple, and I'm going to flick the phone so you can see that image. And it is a doorway with a window either side of a bungalow on the coast of Suffolk. And yeah, the couple want me to make a canopy, which I've already started. But I thought I'd just give you a quick walk around my workshop. My workshop is a really lovely old, look at that, really lovely old timber Suffolk barn. You'll notice if I just bring this up, you see the very end there with that slant. I've got perspex in that piece there, just to allow the light in, and then there's another building beyond that, which is, you can see the roof line of it. But you see that really steep apex just in there. That's to do with the fact that although you see corrugated there, it was originally thatched. And when my folks bought the barn, the farm even, in the late 60s, it was all thatched, but it all caved in. If I walk around this way, one of the bits that juts around, so I am really, really messy, and so I'm going to have to climb over things as I lead the way. That bit of roof collapsed, it caved in, and so they had to rebuild it. And my dad is very proud of the fact that he went to Colchester Market, bought all the timber with my granddad, and they rebuilt all of that. Can you see that weird ladder just up there? That's a piece of old, well, in fact, it is a telegraph pole. Can you see the end of it? So they bunged that in there and put some pieces in to prop it all up. It's in a sorry state. It does need constant attention, and it's forever with the wind. The corrugated is picking, and it's been up for, what, 60 years, isn't it? The corrugated iron. So yeah, it does need a bit of attention, but actually at the moment it's going through planning to be converted into a house, and that will be done by one of my siblings. It won't be my work. If I just flick the camera again, can you see this concrete wall? And this was built, if I just pan around my workshop, I really am embarrassed about the state of it, but can you see it's got that concrete wall? That was built by my granddad to hold grain. So this would have been a grain store. And so that was put in, but what it's done is it's trapped moisture against the timbers, which has rotted the timbers. And in fact, where the weatherboard has fallen off the outside and been replaced, you could see where the timbers were no longer supported, so needs a lot of work. But anyway, today's work, let me show you what I've been doing. I'm going to flick the camera. The canopy that I showed you, this is it in place at the moment. See if I can pan out a bit. I haven't got a lot of room here. I've kind of pushed myself into a corner, but this is the actual piece. And what I do is I cut these pieces here. I cut them in an arc, so they have a kind of, without sounding a bit gross, I cut them like a toenail, and then I roll them so I get this lovely shape to it. And you can see then that I've got that shape. This piece here is to dip over the gutter. It's to dip over the gutter of the house, so that there's protection. There's protection over the door. Either side of that, there'll be light coming through, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be right up against the building. But the whole idea was that it should not touch the building. And if I go back to that drawing again, here we are. You'll see that it's got a fixing here, which goes on the wall, and then 1, 2, 3 legs with discrete balls for feet, a bit like a kind of a claw foot that you'd get on a piece of Regency furniture. And then there's these eyebrows, which are to prevent water from falling off the front, and it will just discreetly run down those legs, or at least that's the plan. I've done it before, I know it works, so it will work. I say it's the plan, it's how it will happen. So that's what I've done. I've got a seam weld. As I'm going, you see I spot weld, just to hold it in place. So it's all under tension. I will seam weld in these gaps, and then what I do is I flush it back with a grinder, and it ends up looking like a, how could you describe it? Kind of like a glued edge. Or even welded lead. Have you ever watched any of these reels for lead welding? If you haven't, you ought to. Go and Google it and just have a look, because they're fascinating. But I'm working in steel here, so I mimic that. The whole of this piece will then be galvanised, and I'll patinate it with that blue stuff there. That's the chemical I use, and it ages the zinc finish. So I will talk you through that when I do it, but I thought I'd give you a quick update. So that's what I'm on today. I'm hoping to get everything properly done. I'll start putting the eyebrows on, but I've just run out of steel. I like to do those in one piece rather than do them in small pieces. So I will order some more steel in for that. I'll get the frame in place, and I'm hoping that what I'll be able to do is get this erected onto the side of the wall of the barn somewhere. I'm waving my hand around, but you can't see it. There's 2 posts over there, which I'm going to be putting it onto, and so that the customers, when they come in a couple of days, they'll be able to stand underneath it and just get a full idea of how it'll feel to have it in situ at their home. So that's what I'm working on today. Here's one of my little friends coming in to find out what I'm talking about. Aren't you, Blondie? If I just come through here, I'm sorry, it is really messy. Can you see the concrete floor here? This was mixed up in a wheelbarrow 60 years ago by my granddad and my dad. It's a shocking mess. It's no wonder I don't make anything that's straight or square. But through here, this is the sofa for the dogs. Hello, Moose. Are you there, friend? So they come to work with me. They always have done, even before I moved into our statiche. They've come here, and that's where they kind of hang out. When it's a bit warmer, I open these back doors here, and I've got a lovely view. Maybe not so much now because you can see a static caravan, but I've normally got a lovely view looking down over a meadow, so it's a good view. Oh, look, there's one of my signs showing some of my work there. Look, there's canopies there. So what you see on this one is the effect that one over there is I'm making. Anyway, I think that's my lot for today. I'll get on with that, which looks a little bit Flight of the Navigator, I think, if anyone remembers that from the 70s. I'll be getting on with that, and I might show you that tomorrow. So anyway, I'll see you another day.